Well, I mean, I'm not even sure where I can think of something that came in that would be under that auspice. I mean, first of all, you got to remember, this is Wright County, Minnesota. This ain't, I mean, there's going to be places where they're going to be welcomed a lot more warmly than here. So I think we're probably going to be the last door they're going to knock on. But, Kevin?
Well, isn't some of that kind of related to Agenda 21, like the Met Council and stuff, or the regional county governments wanting to get together a few years ago? Wasn't that a big deal? You know, where we're combining, well, even Tom Sikowski's regional Wright County plan, you know, where you're putting off limits people's property rights. You know, if they want to put houses on their property, if they don't, that's kind of part of that whole deal.
Well, you know, there's been planning and zoning in Wright County since the 1960s that has, you know, created areas for certain sorts of uses. And, you know, is that telling people what to do with their land to some extent? I think people want some assurances. I mean, I'll give you an example. If I build a house in town, and I live in town, the city of Monticello, I don't necessarily want someone to be able to tear down the house next to me and build a convenience store. I mean, I think we ought to be able to, I think there needs to be some reasonable zoning regulations. I think they need to be reasonable, and I think they need to be supported by the public, and they need to be cautious of taking away people's rights.
What
there's no doubt about it. But
is like the gravel resources. I don't know if it's the holy grail of Tom Sikowski at the time or the county board. I don't know, the gravel resources, and you're putting off limits what you can do on the areas that are considered gravel. You know,
well,
and that kind of bothers me, and then it's, you know, it's, and wood, you know, wood lots, you can't, you know, there's higher taxes, and people that own property with gravel pits on them are now being charged commercial taxes on basically ag land that turned into a gravel pit, you know.
Well, yeah, and Kevin, if that's true, then we need to get the legislators in there to talk about that, because the legislators, relative to property taxes, relative to all the rules in the rates as far as this property, that the county, those are equal across the entire state as far as, you know, if gravel is now commercial, I accept that you tell me that. I don't know if it's what it is, but if that's what it is, and it's commercial in Wright County, it's commercial in Hennepin, it's commercial in Big Stone County, it's commercial in Kitson County. Those are all applied equally across the whole state. Larry.
Yeah, through the years, I think the Wright County Commissioners have taken a position to not align themselves with the Met Council. And I think if we want a conspiracy theory that's close to home, the Met Council's got more power than most any other governmental body in the state. And I would commend the Wright County Commission because they are trying to, Met Council spread like poison ivy all over the state.
Yeah, no, and that's accurate. We've made it clear that you're our neighbors and we'll communicate with you, but we don't want to be any part of you. Absolutely. Jan had her hand up, and I went to Kevin because his was up first, and then Larry jumped in on me, right?
It might be a good idea to.
Ramp up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Presenting a long time, and I guess if we could, maybe if there's other questions, if people want to directly talk to you, that would be good. Otherwise, yeah, maybe it's time to.
Very well. Well, thank you very much for having me.
Back page of that Wright County Press article and handed out, it talks about some of the regional developments in counties right here in the top corner. If you haven't read it.
If I can put a plug in, there's quite a bit on our website.